why this movie? Why now to make it? But this has been firmly in your head for about the last, what, 7 or 8 years, I understand, to the point where you
Yep.
started getting set pieces about 7 years ago, I recall you saying.
Yeah, so Dead Format was actually, I wrote the short story back in 2017, 16, I want to say, something like that. I can't remember exactly when. It was originally inspired by a couple things, but one of the big ones was my grandmother passed away, and my mom had a videotape, a home movie of my grandparents getting their marriage vows renewed at that. Then they did that at the home that I grew up in. So we filmed it, and I found this tape, and I was going to digitize it for my mom so she could play parts of it at the funeral. And I put it on, and I saw my dad, who had recently passed away at the time as well. I saw cousins that were gone, uncles, aunts, like me as a child. Like I saw all these family members that had been gone for years, and seeing my childhood home that I hadn't seen in forever, and just revisiting all that stuff was just this emotional tidal wave that just destroyed me, to be perfectly honest. Um, and then I just kept thinking, it's like, if this tape didn't exist, if we didn't literally rent a camcorder, because now, we're living in a time where every moment of our life is on video. And if in the future, like if someone wants to know what it was like to live in 2024, they could pull up this interview. They could literally see moment by moment what life was like. But, we have to think like, what was it like in the 30s? Like we have some grainy photographs, and that's about it. And even back in the 90s, the early 90s, the 80s, it was such a big deal to record home video, even though it was easier than doing it on like Super 8 like they used to. But it's such an artifact, to have these things, and it was so special. And it's like, I felt like it ties into my weird, like, artistic philosophy of that all we're really trying to do as artists is just to scratch our name on the wall of infinity, to leave some kind of graffiti that I was here. And having a photograph, having this video, it's some kind of immortality, because there will come a time where without that video, enough generations will go by that nobody will even know that part of my family existed. There'll be nobody left to remember. And that is another crushing thing. This is what I think about all day. I'm a real cheery guy. But this video, it's like, this was this valuable, like, artifact of the past. And I could see that. It's just this beautiful, like, frozen, it's not even a frozen moment in time like a photograph. It's like you literally are time traveling. And that mixed with me dealing with the grief of my dad passing away, and mourning the death of physical media and like the video store culture that I grew up in, and all that stuff, like it all just morphed together into this really, I apologize, I just ate, so
That's okay.
Just this weird ball of anxiety and grief. And then I came up with the ending of the story, which at the time I thought was really funny. And then it got really, then when I went to actually write and then I'm not going to spoil what the end is, but the things leading up to the final moments I thought were hilarious. And then I wrote the story, and then I was just like, oh my God, I'm crying. What is happening right now? And then I sent the story out to pre-readers, and that was the feedback. Everyone's like, this just destroyed me. And it just turned into this really, really personal, emotional thing. And that's been percolating for so long, and everyone kept saying, dude, you got to make this into a movie. You got to make this into a movie. And I'm like, it's a short film at best. And that was the plan. I was going to make a short film, just like Once Upon a Time I said White Doomsday was going to be a short film. And then, flash forward, I'm like, oh, wow, we shot, we have like 40 minutes of movie here, and we're only halfway through the script. That's not good. So we accidentally made a feature. So, everyone kept yelling at me over the years, like, make it a feature. And then finally, my producers, Brian Keane, Samantha Koliesnik, and Nathan Ludwig, they finally convinced me that I had a feature. When they read the script, they're like, dude, this is paced like a feature. Like, you can't make this into a short film. And I read it, and I was like, son of a bitch, you're right. So I begrudgingly listened to them, and here we are.